sometimes the best intentions lead to the worst discoveries. What began as a heartfelt surprise trip to Boston with my children quickly turned into a nightmare I never anticipated. One hotel door, one moment of truth, and 17 years of marriage suddenly hung in the balance. They say what happens in hotel rooms stays there. But some secrets refuse to remain hidden. My name is David Wilson. Dave to my friends. I'm 50 years old, have been married to my wife Laura for nearly 20 years, and we have 2 wonderful children, Ethan, 15, who's growing faster than I can keep up with, and Lily, my 10-year-old princess, who still thinks her dad hung the moon. That Wednesday morning started like any other during Laura's business trips. I was wrangling the kids through breakfast before school. Ethan, with his head buried in his phone. Lily picking at her cereal, and me gulping coffee like it was the elixir of life. Laura had been in Boston for 3 days on a consulting job with 4 more to go. A total of 7 days longer than her usual trips. We were all feeling her absence. I love my wife. So while she was away, the kids and I decided to surprise her by flying to Boston. The idea struck me like a thunderbolt while watching Lily push her Cheerios around her bowl. "Hey, what if we went to see Mum this weekend?" I said, setting down my mug. Lily's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. "Really to show up and surprise her?" "Yeah," I nodded, feeling excitement build. We could book flights today and be there by tomorrow evening. Imagine her face when she opens her hotel door. Ethan finally looked up from his phone. "That would actually be pretty cool," he said, which from a teenager is practically jumping for joy. By noon, I had called in a favor at work to take Friday off, arranged for the kids to miss school, and booked 3 tickets to Boston. The whole time I pictured Laura's face. The shock, the joy, maybe even tears. I hadn't surprised her like this in years. I tried calling her that morning, but it went straight to voicemail. Not unusual during her intensive consulting sessions, I sent a text. "Miss you. Kids are asking when you're coming home. Love you." No response. Which was a little odd, but I figured she was swamped. That evening, as I packed our bags, I tried again. Still nothing. A small knot formed in my stomach, but I dismissed it. Boston was hosting a major business conference. She was probably networking, making connections, doing what she did best. The consulting world was competitive, and Laura was a shark in high heels as I tucked Lily in. That night she clutched her favourite stuffed bunny to her chest. "Do you think Mommy will cry when she sees us?" she asked, eyes wide with anticipation. "Maybe, sweetheart," I said, kissing her forehead. "It's going to be the best surprise ever." I had no idea how wrong I was. No idea that the surprise awaiting us in Boston would shatter our family. The flight to Boston was short, but felt like an eternity. Ethan had his headphones on, lost in whatever music teenagers listen to these days. Lily chatted non-stop about everything she wanted to tell her mum. I sat between them, fighting a growing sense of unease. I tried calling Laura 3 more times before we boarded. Nothing. Just voicemail. I sent another text. "Hope your meetings are going well, miss you." The delivered notification appeared, but no response came. "Dad, why are you checking your phone every 5 seconds?" Ethan asked, briefly, pulling off his headphones. The kid never missed a thing. "Just making sure our rental car is confirmed." I lied, forcing a smile. But the truth was, something felt off. Laura and I had been married for nearly 20 years. We had our ups and downs like any couple, but she'd never gone this long without communicating, especially with the kids. When we landed at Logan Airport, I tried once more voicemail again. I left a message, keeping my tone light. "Hey babe, just checking in. Give me a call when you get a chance." The rental car process was a nightmare. Wrong reservation, Long lines, Lily needing the bathroom twice. By the time we hit the road toward downtown Boston, it was past 8 p.m. Rush hour traffic had cleared, but the city streets buzzed with Thursday night energy. "Dad, I'm hungry," Lily whined from the back seat. "Me too," Ethan chimed in, finally engaged in something besides his phone. "Can we eat before we see Mom?" "Let's get to the hotel first," I said, my knuckles white on the steering wheel. "Maybe Mom can join us for a late dinner." As we neared the Marriott where Laura was staying, the knot in my stomach tightened. I tried calling once more. This time, oddly, it rang, but still no answer. The hotel's revolving doors welcomed us with a whoosh of warm air. The lobby was elegant with marble floors and soft lighting. Ethan and Lily looked around, impressed by the upscale surroundings. My wife always stayed at nice places on her company's dime. "Why don't you guys wait here?" I told them, pointing to some plush couches. "I'll check us in and find out which room Mum's in." Lily bounced on her toes. "Can we surprise her right away?" I nodded, forcing enthusiasm I no longer felt. "That's the plan, sweetheart." As I approached the front desk, I had no idea I was walking toward a moment that would change everything. "Good evening, sir. How can I help you?" The receptionist. A young woman with a professional smile greeted me. I cleared my throat. "I'd like to check in. And I also need to get in touch with my wife who's staying here. Laura Wilson." Her fingers danced across the keyboard. "Let me check that for you." A moment passed. "Yes, Mrs. Wilson is staying with us. Would you like me to ring her room?" "Please," I said, relief washing over me. At least Laura was here. The receptionist dialed, waited, then frowned slightly. "I'm sorry, sir. There's no answer." "Can you try again?" I asked, the knot in my stomach tightening. She tried once more with the same result. "I'm sorry, there's still no answer. Would you like to leave a message?" "No, that's okay," I said, handing over my credit card. "We'll just check in for now. My wife is expecting us It's a surprise visit." A flicker of hesitation crossed her face. "I see. Well, let me get you set up." She processed our reservation, then handed me 2 key cards. "You're in room 732. Mrs. Wilson is in 718. "Different floors?" I asked, confused. "No, same floor just down the hall from each other." She paused, then added, "It looks like Mrs. Wilson checked in with a +1, though." The world stopped spinning for a moment. "A +1? What do you mean?" The receptionist's expression shifted to discomfort. "The reservation shows 2 guests in her room. I assumed I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said anything." I forced a laugh that sounded hollow even to my ears. "No, that's fine. Probably a colleague sharing the room to save on expenses. But I knew better. Laura's company always paid for private rooms for its consultants. It was a point of pride for them." I collected our bags and walked back to Ethan and Lily, my mind racing. A work friend, a female colleague I couldn't bring myself to complete the thought. "Did you find Mum?" Lily asked, bouncing with excitement. "Not yet, sweetheart. Let's go up to our room first and freshen up." The elevator ride was silent except for Lily's humming. Ethan shot me a look he sensed something was off, but thankfully kept quiet. Our room was nice, standard, high-end hotel fare. I set the bags down and took a deep breath. "Can we go see Mum now?" Lily pleaded. "In a minute. You need to wash up. It's been a long day." While they were occupied, I slipped into the hallway and walked to room 718. My heart hammered against my ribs as I raised my hand to knock. No answer. I knocked again, harder this time. Still nothing, but I could hear movement inside, faint music, the sound of laughter. My blood ran cold. I pulled out my phone and typed, "I'm outside your hotel room door. Open up." The movement inside stopped abruptly, then a muffled male voice. I closed my eyes, suddenly certain of what I would find on the other side of that door. The door to room 718 opened slowly, revealing Laura in a hotel bathrobe, her hair dishevelled, face flushed. Her expression cycled through shock, fear, and finally settled on something that looked strangely like annoyance. "Dave, what are you doing here?" she hissed, stepping into the hallway and pulling the door nearly closed behind her. I stared at her, momentarily speechless. After a beat, I found my voice. "Surprise?" I said flatly. Her eyes widened. "The kids are here. At the hotel in our room down the hall," I said, my voice sounding distant even to myself. "They've been excited all day to see you." Laura ran a hand through her hair, glancing nervously back at her door. "You should have called first, Dave. I did multiple times. I crossed my arms. Who's in your room, Laura?" She flinched at the direct question. "It's not what you think. Really? Because I think you have another man in there. Am I wrong?" The door opened wider, and a man appeared behind her, tall, fit maybe early 40s, buttoning up his shirt. "Laura, is everything okay out here?" My vision tunneled, focusing on this stranger who called my wife by her name. "Who the hell are you?" I demanded, my voice dangerously quiet. "Dave, please." Laura started, but I cut her off. "No, I want to hear from him." I stepped closer. "Who are you, and why are you in my wife's hotel room?" The man looked confused, glancing between Laura and me. "I'm Ryan from the Chicago office." He extended his hand automatically, then thought better of it and withdrew it. "I didn't know Laura was married." The words hit me like a physical blow. I turned to Laura, who had the decency to look ashamed, but not ashamed enough. "You told him you were single." My voice was barely a whisper now. She closed her eyes briefly. "Can we please not do this in the hallway?" "Ryan, maybe you should go," she said. "Yeah, Ryan." I echoed my anger, finding a target. "Maybe you should go." Ryan raised his hands in surrender. "Look, man, I had no idea. She never mentioned a husband or kids." He grabbed his jacket from inside the room. "I'm out of here." He hurried past us down the hallway, leaving Laura and me alone, in a silence so thick it felt suffocating. 17 years, Laura," I finally said. 17 years and you're picking up guys on business trips. "It's not like that," she snapped, her shame morphing into defensiveness. "You don't understand." "Then explain it to me," I challenged. "Explain why our children flew across the country to surprise their mother only to find her with another man." She looked away. "You should have called first." Those words. The audacity of them broke something in me. "Are you serious right now? This isn't my fault because I didn't warn you before catching you cheating?" "Lower your voice," she hissed, glancing down the hallway. "The kids are waiting," I said, stepping back. "Lily has been bouncing off the walls all day about seeing you. What do you want to tell her?" Guilt finally seemed to register on her face. "Give me 5 minutes to get dressed. I'll come to your room." I turned to walk away, then paused. "How long has this been going on, Laura?" She couldn't meet my eyes. This was just a one-time thing. A mistake. Ryan's words echoed in my head. I didn't know Laura was married. "It wasn't a mistake," I said. "It was a choice." And as I walked back to our room to face our children, I knew nothing would ever be the same again. The walk back to our room felt like crossing a desert, each step heavy with the weight of what had just happened. How was I supposed to face my children now? What could I possibly tell them? I paused outside our door, took a deep breath, and forced my face into something resembling normal. The keycard beeped, and I pushed the door open. "Dad, did you find Mum?" Lily jumped up from the bed where she'd been watching TV. Ethan looked up from his phone, eyes narrowing as he studied my expression. "What's wrong?" he asked immediately, too perceptive for his own good. "Mom's coming in a few minutes," I managed. She was surprised to see us. Lily clapped her hands. "Is she happy? Did she cry? She was definitely surprised," I said, avoiding Ethan's searching gaze. "Hey, why don't we order some room service? You guys must be hungry after the flight." "Already ahead of you," Ethan said, still watching me carefully. "We ordered burgers and fries." "And chocolate cake," Lily added, bouncing on the bed. I nodded, trying to smile. "Perfect." A knock at the door made Lily leap up. "Mom's here!" Before I could stop her, she flung open the door and launched herself at Laura, who stood in the hallway, looking completely composed, hair brushed, makeup fixed, wearing a professional outfit. If I hadn't seen her 10 minutes ago in a bathrobe with a half-dressed man, I would never have guessed anything was amiss. "Mommy," Lily squealed, wrapping her arms around Laura's waist. "Oh, sweetheart," Laura said, hugging her back. "What a surprise to see you all." Her eyes met mine over Lily's head, and I saw the silent plea in them. Play along for the kids. Ethan hadn't moved from his spot on the bed. "Hey, Mum," he said, his tone carefully neutral. Laura crossed the room and kissed the top of his head. "Hey, buddy. You've grown since I left, I swear." "It's been a week, Mum," he replied dryly. An awkward silence followed, broken by Lily's enthusiastic recounting of our journey. Laura listened, nodding occasionally, glancing at me, but I couldn't bring myself to meet her eyes. "Dad said we could all have dinner together," Lily finished. Laura's smile faltered slightly. "That sounds wonderful, but I actually have a work dinner tonight. Important clients." I barked out a laugh that I quickly disguised as a cough. Lily's face fell. "But we came all this way to see you," she protested. "I know, honey, and I'm so happy you did. I'll be all yours tomorrow, I promise. We can see the sights, do whatever you want." She turned to me. "Can I talk to you in the hallway for a minute, Dave?" Ethan rolled his eyes. "Real subtle, Mom." I followed Laura outside, leaving the door slightly ajar, in case Lily needed me. "Work dinner," I said once we were alone. "Is that what you're calling it now?" Laura's artificial composure cracked slightly. "Dave, please, I need time to figure this out." "Figure what out? How to lie to your family? Because you seem to have that down pat." She flinched as if I had slapped her. "That's not fair." "Not fair." I kept my voice low, mindful of the kids just inside. "You know what's not fair, Laura? Our daughter made us check 3 different stores for her favourite travel pillow so she could bring it to you. Ethan actually put his phone down long enough to help me book the flights. Do you have any idea how excited they were to see you?" Her eyes welled with tears. "Dave, I made a terrible mistake, I know that. But please don't tell the kids. Not yet. So I'm supposed to pretend everything's fine." I laughed bitterly. "Put on a show while you go back to your client dinner." "It really is a client dinner," she insisted. "Ryan won't be there. I need this account, Dave. It's worth millions to the firm." I stared at her, realizing I didn't even recognize the woman standing before me. "Your career, that's what you're worried about right now." "No, of course not," She rubbed her temples. I'm trying to salvage whatever I can from this disaster. Please, Dave, one night. Let me get through this dinner, and then tomorrow we can figure everything out. There's nothing to figure out, I said flatly. You cheated on me. You lied to our children. You've been living a double life, and I don't even know for how long. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. It wasn't a double life. It was one mistake. Ryan's words echoed in my head. I didn't know Laura was married. Save it, I said, turning back toward our room. Go to your dinner. I'll take care of the kids. What will you tell them? She asked anxiously. I haven't decided yet, I said, my hand on the door handle. But unlike you, I don't lie to my children. Back inside, Lily was bouncing on the bed, excitement radiating from her like sunshine. Is Mom coming to dinner with us? I swallowed hard. Not tonight, sweetheart. Mom has an important work thing she can't miss. Lily's face fell, and the sight of her disappointment made my chest ache. But we came all this way to surprise her. I know, honey, I said, sitting beside her and pulling her close. And she was definitely surprised. She just has to finish some work first. But guess what? She's all ours tomorrow, the whole day. Ethan was watching me, his expression unreadable. Where's she going tonight? A client dinner. I said the lie, tasting like acid, my tongue. Uh-huh, he said, looking back at his phone. Whatever. Lily, ever the optimist, bounced back quickly. Can we go see the Boston Harbor tonight instead? My friend Mia said there are cool lights and boats. The thought of playing tourist while my marriage imploded seemed impossible, but Lily's hopeful face broke my resolve. Sure, why not? Let's finish dinner and then check it out. Sweet. She grabbed another French fry from the room service tray. This is still the best surprise ever, Dad. Ethan caught my eye over his phone and raised an eyebrow, silently calling me out. I gave him a slight shake of my head, a promise to explain later. He nodded almost imperceptibly. At 15, he was already more man than boy, and in that moment I was grateful for his perceptiveness. That night, as we walked along the harbour, Lily skipped ahead, pointing out every boat she saw. Ethan fell into step beside me. Mom's cheating, isn't she? He asked quietly. I nearly stumbled, caught off guard by his directness. Ethan? Just tell me the truth, Dad. I'm not a kid anymore. I looked at my son, tall, serious, suddenly, so grown up. Yes, I admitted finally. I think she is. His jaw tightened, but he didn't look particularly surprised. I figured, ever since she started this consulting gig, she's been different, always on her phone, staying late at the office, taking more business trips. A wave of nausea hit me. Had everyone seen what was happening except me? You noticed that? I asked. Yeah, and so did you probably. You just didn't want to believe it. His voice held no accusation, just a sad understanding beyond his years. Lily called to us from up ahead, waving excitedly. Dad, Ethan, come look at this boat. It has a helicopter on it. Be right there, sweetie, I called back, forcing enthusiasm into my voice. Ethan kicked at a loose stone on the walkway. What happens now? Are you guys getting divorced? The word felt like a punch to the gut. I don't know yet, buddy. This just happened. But whatever happens between your mum and me, nothing changes how much we both love you and Lily. He scoffed. If she loved us, she wouldn't have done this. It's not that simple. I said, though part of me agreed with him. Adults mess up, sometimes make terrible mistakes. "This isn't like forgetting to pay the electric bill, Dad," he said, his voice hard. We reached Lily, who was pressed against the harbour railing, pointing at the luxury yacht. "Look, it's bigger than our whole house." I lifted her onto my shoulders so she could see better, grateful for her innocent enthusiasm. "Pretty impressive, huh?" As Lily chattered away about the yacht, Ethan stood slightly apart, his teenage face suddenly much older. I could see him processing everything, deciding how he felt about it all. "Don't tell Lily," he said quietly, when she was distracted by a passing boat. "She still thinks Mum hangs the moon." "I won't," I promised. "Not yet anyway." "But we'll have to figure this out eventually." He nodded, then surprised me by leaning slightly against my side, the closest thing to a hug I'd gotten from him in years. "We'll be okay, Dad. You, me and Lily." In that moment, my OFDM son was trying to comfort me, and it nearly broke me, but also gave me strength. "Yeah," I said, putting my arm around his shoulders. "We will." When we returned to the hotel, Lily was half asleep on my shoulders, the excitement of the day finally catching up with her. Ethan walked beside us, unnaturally quiet, his earlier revelation hanging between us like a storm cloud. "I'm tired, Daddy," Lily mumbled as we entered the elevator. "I know, sweetheart. We'll get you into bed soon." I pressed the button for our floor, dreading what might await us. The elevator doors opened and my heart sank. Laura stood outside our room door, arms crossed, tapping her foot impatiently. When she saw us, her expression morphed into concern. "Where have you been? I've been calling for hours," she exclaimed. "We went to see the harbour," I replied evenly, shifting Lily on my shoulder. "I left my phone in the room." Ethan brushed past his mother without a word, swiping the keycard and entering our room. Laura's eyes followed him, confusion flashing across her face. "Ethan? What's wrong, honey?" He ignored her completely, the door shutting behind him. "What did you tell him?" she hissed at me. "The truth," I said simply. "He asked and I wasn't going to lie to him." Her face paled. "You had no right to do that without discussing it with me first." "Lower your voice," I warned, nodding toward the half-asleep Lily. "And I had every right. You gave up your say when you decided to cheat on our family." She stepped back as if I'd slapped her. "Dave, please, can we talk about this rationally?" "How was your dinner with the clients?" "Productive?" I asked, unable to keep the bitterness from my voice. She sighed. "We landed the account." "Congratulations," I replied sarcastically. "Your career is certainly thriving." "That's not fair. Life's not fair. Laura, our son now knows his mother is a cheater. Our daughter will figure it out soon enough. Nothing about this is fair." Lily stirred on my shoulder. "Daddy, why are you and Mommy fighting?" Laura's eyes filled with tears. "We're not fighting, sweetie. Just having a grown-up talk." "It sounded like fighting," Lily murmured. I rubbed her back gently. "It's okay, Princess. Let's get you to bed." I moved past Laura to enter our room, but she caught my arm. "Dave, we need to talk privately." "Not tonight," I said firmly. "I need to put our daughter to bed." Inside, Ethan was sitting on his bed, headphones on, staring at the wall. He didn't acknowledge his mother. When she entered behind me, I helped Lily change into her pajamas and tucked her into bed, her eyelids already drooping. "Good night, baby girl," Sweet dreams. Night, Daddy, night. Mummy, she mumbled, already half asleep. Laura stood awkwardly at the foot of Lily's bed, clearly unsure of her place in this new family dynamic. "Good night, sweetheart," she whispered, leaning down to kiss Lily's forehead. Once Lily was asleep, Laura gestured toward the door. "Can we talk in my room, please?" I glanced at Ethan, who had his back to us, shoulders rigid. "Will you be okay?" I asked him quietly. He pulled one headphone off. "I'm fine. Go talk. Sort this mess out." His voice was flat, emotionless. Laura flinched at his tone but said nothing. In the hallway, I followed her silently to her room. The same room where hours earlier I had discovered her with another man. The irony wasn't lost on me. She swiped her keycard and we entered. The room had been cleaned, all evidence of her afternoon tryst erased, but I could still feel it. The betrayal lingering in the air like a bad smell. "Ethan hates me," she said, finally breaking the silence. "He's hurt," I corrected. "We all are." Laura sat on the edge of the bed, her composure finally cracking. "I made a terrible mistake, Dave. I don't know what I was thinking." "That's just it," I said, remaining standing. "You weren't thinking about us at all." Laura's hotel room felt foreign, now contaminated. I remained standing near the door, unwilling to sit on the bed, where hours earlier she had betrayed everything we built together. "I don't even know where to start," she said, pacing nervously. "How about the truth for once?" My voice was calmer than I felt. "How long has this been going on?" She hesitated just long enough for me to know what was coming wasn't the full truth. "It was just this once. Dave. A momentary weakness. Ryan didn't seem to think it was a one-time thing," I countered. "He said he didn't know you were married. How would he not know that if this was your first encounter?" Her shoulders slumped. "We've been talking for a few months, flirting. It started at a conference in Chicago." "So this wasn't your first business trip, rendezvous?" She closed her eyes. "No." The confirmation, though expected, still felt like a knife to the gut. I leaned against the wall for support. "How many times? How many men?" "Just Ryan. 3 times." She wiped at a tear. "I know that doesn't make it better." "No, it doesn't." I shook my head in disbelief. 17 years, Laura. 2 kids. And you risked it all for what? Some excitement? An ego boost? "It wasn't like that," she insisted. "We grew apart, Dave. You're always working, always focused on the kids. When was the last time you looked at me? Really looked at me as a woman, not just a wife and mother?" Anger flared within me. "Don't you dare blame this on me. If you felt neglected, you could have talked to me. We could have worked on it together. Instead, you chose to lie, to cheat." "I know," she whispered. "I know that now. And I'm so sorry, Dave. More sorry than you can imagine. Sorry you did it, or sorry you got caught." She flinched. "That's not fair." "None of this is fair. Laura, our kids are going to be devastated. Ethan already hates you. Lily will find out eventually. You've blown up our entire family for a fling with some guy from the Chicago office." Silence fell between us, heavy with 2 decades of shared history and the realization that it might all be ending. "What happens now?" she finally asked. I looked at her, really looked at her, the woman I had loved since college, the mother of my children. a stranger now. "I'm taking the kids home tomorrow," I said quietly. "First flight out." "Dave, please," she begged. "We can work through this. Couples therapy, a fresh start, whatever it takes." "I don't know if I can ever trust you again," I admitted. "And without trust, what do we have?" Her face crumpled. 20 years of love. A family. A history. A history you didn't value enough to protect. I said, moving toward the door. "I need to get back to our kids." "What are you going to tell Lily?" I paused, hand on the doorknob. "I don't know yet, but unlike you, I won't lie to her." The flight home was quiet. Lily fell asleep almost immediately, exhausted from the emotional roller coaster of our truncated vacation. Ethan sat with his headphones on, staring out the window, occasionally glancing at me with a mixture of concern and something else. Respect. Maybe I hadn't slept at all. After my conversation with Laura, I'd returned to our room to find Ethan still awake, waiting. "We're leaving tomorrow," I told him simply. "First flight out." He nodded, relief evident on his young face. Good. Laura had come to the airport to see us off, her eyes red-rimmed from crying. Lily had hugged her tightly, confused by her sudden departure. "But why can't Mum come with us?" she'd asked repeatedly. "Mom has to finish her work here." I'd explained the lie, bitter on my tongue. "She'll be home in a few days." Ethan had barely acknowledged his mother, giving her a stiff one-armed hug before boarding without a backward glance. Now, as the plane began its descent into our hometown, I found myself thinking about what came next. The logistics of separation, the heartbreak of telling Lily the inevitable questions from family and friends. Ethan's voice pulled me from my thoughts. "You okay, Dad?" His concern, so adult, so genuine, made my throat tighten. "I will be. I promised. We all will be." He nodded, seeming satisfied with my answer. "What happens when we get home? Is she coming back?" I sighed, choosing my words carefully. "She'll come back to the house, yes, but things are going to change, Ethan. Your mom and I need to figure out what's best for everyone." "You mean divorce?" he said bluntly. "Maybe, I don't know yet." I ran a hand through my hair. "But whatever happens between your mum and me, nothing changes how much we both love you and Lily." He was quiet for a moment. "For what it's worth, Dad, I think you're doing the right thing. We deserve better." His words, so wise beyond his years, were both heartbreaking and strengthening. He shouldn't have to deal with any of this, but his resilience made me proud. When we landed, Lily woke up immediately asking for Laura. The reminder that our family would never be the same. Cut deep. 3 weeks later, Laura and I sat across from each other in our kitchen divorce papers between us. She'd moved into an apartment downtown. Ethan still barely spoke to her. Lily was beginning to understand in her 10-year-old way that Mommy and Daddy wouldn't be living together anymore. "I never wanted this," Laura said quietly, pen hovering over the signature line. "Neither did I admitted. "But here we are. Do you think you'll ever forgive me?" Her eyes, once so familiar, now seemed to belong to a stranger. I considered the question carefully. "Someday, maybe for the kids' sake. But some things can't be undone, Laura." She nodded, accepting this truth, and signed her name. As I watched her go, I felt an unexpected lightness. The pain wasn't gone far from it, but for the first time since that fateful day in Boston, I could see a future beyond the betrayal, A new beginning for me and my children. We would be okay. Different, but okay.